Share screen. Okay, I hope it's working. Let's see. So moving this here, this needs to go here. All right. I think it's working. Hey guys, how's it going? You guys are very quick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's there. And then so number one, number two, number three, number four. This one works, that works. Okie dokie. I think it's working. Hey Jas, how's it going? You're new here. Very nice to meet you. uh let me so okay. I think the YouTube side is working. Right. And then, oh, that's a point. I need to link the YouTube side. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing okay. It's been a while, as usual. I've been getting a bit lazy. Well, not lazy. I've been trying to take care of myself a bit more. In other words, I've been being lazy. um, sugar, I need to change the I'm English lesson, the world of crime. Save. So basically, I've been just trying to relax on weekends because, the live streams, and now I'm doing like in-person classes in Tokyo. So it's eating up a lot of my free time on the weekends. So I've been feeling a little burnt out. So I try to, you know, relax. So okay. And then I'll put the YouTube stream link here. I need to mute it. Uh-oh. Is there a problem? So please give me a few seconds while I get things set up. Um, and then, oh, I see a lot of people. Let me quickly read the comments. Jas is ready to do a little bit of crime. You're going to commit some crimes. Well, keep your crime away from me, please. And, oh, hello, Pitch. Airy, nice to see you. How are you doing? And, yeah, so. Okay, I think. Oh, that was what I was doing. Put the YouTube link here. So if your Hello Talk thing times out, you can click on the YouTube so you can continue watching until the end. I have to get up very early tomorrow, so I can't stay too late. But we'll have a nice, productive English lesson today. I spent all week making this presentation to kind of, uh, teach you guys a little bit about crime. It's one of my favorite genres of literature and movies and all of that stuff. So I thought it might be useful to talk a little bit about the vocab, and I've been kind of, what was it, leveling up my presentations, more videos, more variety to keep you guys interested. But yeah. Hi Zia, nice to see you. I'm doing well, thank you very much. And today is your day off. Good. I guess what was it? I hope you guys are taking enough time on your weekends, to just relax, de-stress, get a breath of fresh air. But if it's raining outside, I guess you can't really do that. Um, but am I gonna teach you how to commit a crime? Well, I have quite a lot of experience. Maybe I shouldn't say that on stream, even as a joke. Anyway, um, are you busier then? Uh, that's a good question, Eddie. Yeah, I would say I'm busier. Now that I'm in Tokyo, I have more opportunities to like take part in events. Like the other day, I took part in a university camp, a summer camp, and actually, I can quickly show you a video because it is a public video on Hello Talk thing. Sorry. Um, It is a public video on YouTube. Let me quickly bring it up. Give me a second, because it's quite cool. So I need to be careful not to show my private, friends' conversations. I don't want to show any confidential information. So it was down here. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of kind of in-person events, sometimes like bilingual facilitation. So I work with other companies. They're trying to become a bit more global. So I've been helping them out as a foreigner who is in Japan, studying Japanese, teaching English, bringing that kind of intercultural experience. Yeah. But anyway, here we go. Here is the thing. Let me quickly. Sorry, 1 second. This one. Turn off. And then here we go. Let's have a quick look. Can you see my screen? More importantly, can you hear the audio? Oh, I need to turn it on first. Aha. Can you hear the audio, guys? Just a quick audio check before we begin the stream. Oh my gosh. No audio. Wait a minute. Why is there no audio? It should be working. Maybe I just have to make it louder. Give me a second. Hopefully this doesn't blast my ears off. Okay, audio check.
What we're going to do.
Nothing. Okay. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, the YouTube side should be working. So if it really doesn't work, you can go to the YouTube side. But let me try and fix it. 1 second. Why is it not working? Is it this button? Microphone, camera. Okay, you know what? I'm going to change to my speakers. So let's go here. Why is it always? This is the one thing I hate about streaming, and this is the technical side, because I'm doing it all by myself, and I don't know so much about computers and all that jazz. Okay, so let's try.
You are the main actors.
Don't wanna grow enough.
Did you hear the audio? Ah! Okay, I don't know. You might have to go to the YouTube side, so we'll leave that there. But congrats. Thank you very much, Jess. Lots of technical problems. Okay, right. So let's try this. I'll just show you the video, so you don't have to hear the audio right now. But basically, it was this like summer camp for what do you call it?
Another day.
It's quite loud.
Run around.
And what's it? There are a lot of high school students, you know, thinking about social problems and intercultural exchange and things like that. And yeah, I was helping out at the camp. See here, we're doing lots of team building activities, things like that. And actually, one of my students. Whoa, who's this? Look at that. There you go. So I was just giving them some advice how to kind of level up their presentations.
違う人と学ぶことによってなんか自分のそのステレオタイプ
But there you go. Anyway, just a fun little sneak peek at what I've been doing recently. Okay. All right. I'm really worried about the video now because later I have one video I need to show in the presentation, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But thank you very much. You guys are too kind. I try to look a bit professional because sometimes when I'm teaching and I relax a bit too much, I just seem like a kid. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And then a lot of people look at me and they think, is this guy really a teacher? Really? I'm not sure about that. But there we go. Anyway, let's jump into the lesson for today. Just one quick notice. I do have a bit of an ulcer. I don't know if you know what that is. Sometimes if you eat too much oily food or if you accidentally bite yourself, you get this thing called an ulcer for you Japanese people. Konaien. So also I'm wearing braces, as you may be able to see. They're like retainers. So sometimes if I smile too much, it scratches the ulcer and it's very painful. So I'm going to be drinking more water than usual, and I'm trying not to smile too much because it hurts. So if I look very serious today, I'm not angry. I'm not in a bad mood. It's just the stupid ulcer. Ow, even drinking water hurts. Okay. Right. Let's have a look at today's lesson. I hope you are ready to be a Sherlock Holmes detective today, because we're gonna be looking at crime. Okay? Oh, actually, should I record this? Yeah, why not? Let's record it just in case, so I can edit the video later. Alright, so, who here is a fan of crime? Please raise your hand in the chat. I know you can't, but pretend you're in my classroom. Please raise your hand. Who likes crime? You? Yes? Everybody? Yep, good. Okay. So, first warm-up question. Let's have a quick look. Oops. Let's have a quick look at some questions. Yeah. First of all, what kind of crime-related stories, dramas, movies do you know? I already mentioned one of the most famous names in crime and detective history, and that's gotta be the British Sherlock Holmes from my proud hometown of the UK. Sherlock Holmes, written by Arthur Conan Doyle, is the famous author. Hi, Noriko, nice to see you. But you guys, do you have any famous detectives, any famous crime dramas, series, anything like that? Just a quick few comments in the chat. I'll give you maybe 20 seconds, or maybe 10 seconds. Just a quick type. Do you know any famous... Oops. What kind of crime-related stories, dramas, movies? Sherlock Holmes, one of the biggest ones. Zia says K-drama Mouse. Ooh, I'm not familiar with that one. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Any others? I think in Japan, one of the most famous, what do you call it, detective series, is a comic called Meitante Conan, right? Detective Conan. It's a very popular kind of manga anime series. It's crazy because they have a new movie like almost every year. I think there are more than 30 movies at this point. It's kind of crazy. One of the longest running detective series in Japan. But there you go. So anyway, let's move on as there are no more comments. So first of all, and this is a very important question that we will talk about later, but why do people commit crimes? Yeah. There are many different reasons, but I want to test you guys. Thinking back to any of those dramas or any stories that you've read, or just thinking logically, why do people commit crimes? I'm going to give you 20 seconds just to type your answers. Why do people commit crimes? I want you to imagine you're a criminal, maybe a murderer or a robber. Yeah. Why would you steal? Why might you kill someone? Okay, don't worry. I will keep it a secret. I will not tell anyone. Ow. Okay. Um, Nina says because they lost their own control, they become psycho because they can't deal with the sounds. That's a very good point. Yeah, maybe losing control of their emotions. Maybe it could be like an argument, right? Many murders or accidents often begin just because people become emotional, right? That's a very common reason. Well done, Nina. Zia says one reason can be because they're being forced to do that by not treating them as humans. Interesting. So maybe it's not them. They themselves do not want to commit the crime, but maybe somebody in the shadows, like a puppet master, is controlling them, forcing them to do it. That's another common reason. Very well done. Eddie says mental problems, definitely. Yeah. When you talk, if you look at documentaries of these serial killers, often they are diagnosed or when they are analyzed by a psychotherapist or a forensic psychologist, you'll find they are psychopaths or sociopaths. In other words, their values and their way of thinking, empathy, they don't always have these human emotions, and that causes them to act a bit differently to maybe you and me. But oh, very good answers. Well done, guys. You are typing some great answers so early. Well done. Triggers their psychology. Great. They don't differentiate. Nice, Uma. I like that word. Differentiate. They can't tell the difference between right and wrong. Morality. Sometimes there's a lot of crime for carers. When they do it, they're not aware. Ah, yeah, taking care of elderly people or a sick person, it can be a lot of stress, right? Definitely. So medicine, things like that. Problem in their childhood. Okay. Guys, those are some great answers. Well done. Okay, right. Oh, let me just get rid of this. Why is there a red box? Okay, cool. Absolutely brilliant answers. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Aha, okay, here's the problem. So, I need to show you a video, but the audio does not seem to be working, okay? So, I'm gonna... Oh, I didn't pin the comment. I'm going to pin the comment. I put a link to my YouTube channel, okay? There will be subtitles as well, so if you're watching from HelloTalk and you can't go to the YouTube side, don't worry, there will be subtitles, okay? It's a very short video, but let's have a quick look. Did I pin it? Great. So let's have a quick look at this video. There's good. You can see here there is a murder, there's a dead person on the floor, and it says here, who done it? Yeah, who done it? A very common way of saying who committed the crime, okay? So maybe listen to the detective, you know, deducing, finding out who the killer is, but more importantly, pay attention to the crime scene, the people. Look at everything, okay? So that's my hint for now. Okay, we're gonna play it, and let's have a look here. Sorry, let me put this back on my here. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I need to change my speakers. 1 second, please. Let's go here. Okay.
Somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master
Oops, sorry.
bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
Okay, right. So just a quick explanation, because his English was very high level. It's a bit the detective spoke in a very old-fashioned way. Lots of detectives speak how Sherlock Holmes might speak, okay? But basically, he was saying... shall I play it one more time? Yeah? Okay, it's very short, so I'll play it one more time. So, let's go back.
Room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Petunias are a
Constable,
type of flower.
arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
That's right, madam.
Okay. So, what was it? Yeah, if you don't understand them, don't worry. It is very old-fashioned, formal. Not formal, like just old English, and it's like very difficult. But the reason why he understood it was the gardener who killed the person was because she said that she planted petunias when the guy was being killed or died. But she was clearly lying because any horticulturist, a horticulturist is someone who specializes in flowers, I think. Petunias are not in season right now. Yeah, as you know, most plants and vegetables, they're usually planted in certain seasons. You know, they need a special temperature or type of weather to grow well. And it seems like right now, petunias are not in season, okay? But any gardener, any real expert would know this, right? So she was clearly lying. But anyway... Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. For the new people coming in, there's a short problem with the audio. But anyway, I'm going to quickly ask you, do you notice anything else interesting about the room? Okay, so I'm going to give you one more clue. Look at the room. Don't look at the people, but look at the room itself. Yeah, maybe the furniture, the person on the floor, okay? Now, I'm going to play the beginning one more time, just the beginning, the first few seconds, okay? So look here, look at the room, the people, and what's on the wall. And if I go back to the beginning... interesting. So, I'm going to let you look one more time. Please tell me 3 things that have changed, okay? I want you to tell me 3 differences in the room, okay? So this is before and after, okay? So just in the comments, please write 3 things that have changed, a bit of vocabulary practice for you, okay? So, very good, Zia's got the first one. A bear at first changed into a knight, or rather, a suit of armor. Very good. Pitch says a different flower, the bear. Very good. The type of flowers. Anything else? Let's see how many things you got. So, that's 3 so far. You guys have got 3. I will tell you, there are 21 differences. Okay, 21. That's a lot, right? Okay, I'll show you the beginning one more time. So this is after and before. What changed? The things on the floor. Very good, Nina. Can you be more specific? Can you tell me a bit more? What kind of things on the floor? Okay, I'll just give you 10 more seconds. Zia says the lamp on the wall near the detective. Very good. Nice. Good vocabulary here. Lamp. The bear. The knight. Yeah, anything else? Okay. Right. Now I'm going to show you the behind the scenes footage. Let's have a quick look at what happens?
Tell you one does not plant petunias until
The
May
carpet
is
colour,
out.
very
Take
good,
her
Zoe.
away.
Sorry, madam.
It's just a matter of observation.
I
The
know
real
there's
question
no audio, I
is how
apologize.
observant were you?
So this is behind the scenes. Did you notice the 21 changes? And action.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
There you go. Pretty amazing, right? It says here, it's easy to miss something you're not looking for. On a busy road, this could be fatal. Fatal meaning it could kill someone. Look out for cyclists. Okay? So actually, this was, as you may have noticed, it was an advertisement? No. I don't know what you call it, because an advertisement is to show a product or a service for a business, right? But this is more of a, it's info. I think it might be called an infomercial. Information plus commercial. So like, you know, when you go to the train station or like on the streets, of course it depends on your country, but sometimes they will have those posters showing like safety tips. Don't stand on the platform like too close to the yellow line. When you're getting onto the train, be careful of the small gap and things like that. But this is a road safety infomercial, and you can see in the bottom left here, it says Mayor of London, think transport for London. Okay, so there you go, pretty interesting. The original setting is not related to the crime, or rather, the crime setting is not related to the transport and safety. But it's an interesting way of showing or sending this message. If you don't look for something, you will not notice it. So pay attention to those cyclists and things like that. Okay? So pretty interesting, right? Anyway, I like that. But that will be the only video, so don't worry. Okay. So let's move on to some crime vocabulary. Now, the first thing, a quick test. What word means things that help us prove who the criminal is? Okay, it's just one word. Very quick, 10 seconds. Things that help us prove who the criminal is. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is indeed evidence. Well done, Z and Zia. And Logan says witness. You could use what a witness says as a type of evidence. So that's not completely wrong. Well done. Okay. Now let's have a look at different types of evidence. Yeah. Starting from the top left. Quickly, guys, what is the type of evidence in the top left? Yeah. Just some quick vocabulary practice. I don't even need to count 10 seconds. You guys have already got it. Well done. They are fingerprints. Well done. Yeah. Need to wear some gloves if you want to commit a crime, okay? My first piece of advice as a professional criminal. Wear gloves if you want to kill someone. Okay, don't kill someone. Anyway. The next one, top right. Yeah, what do we think is in the top right? Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are bloodstains. Okay, so blood is not wrong, but this specific thing, for example, when the blood is mixed into like a shirt or maybe the carpet, this is what we call a stain. For example, if I'm drinking coffee in the morning, I'm a bit sleepy, and then I spill, white shirt. Oh, this stain will never come out. This is called a stain. Okay? So we have a blood stain. And the third one, what's the word here in the bottom left? You know, usually on the victim. They might be hit with a weapon. Yeah, and then what do we call this mark that's left on the victim? Yeah. Zia, a bruise, you're not completely wrong. A bruise is a bit different. A bruise is usually like maybe a bit blue, dark red, and the bleeding is under the surface. But you can see here in this picture, it's, what was it? There's blood on the outside of the head. This is called a, let's have a look, a wound or an injury. But actually, you guys were correct. It is a wound. Bonus question. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between a wound and an injury? Now, actually, a lot of native speakers do not know the difference. They will use them in the same way, but technically, there is a small difference. Let me give you some clues. If I break my leg, that's an injury. If I go in the gym, I'm doing some push-ups, and I go, oh, ow, 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 and then I realize the muscle has kind of torn, I've ripped the muscle, that's an injury. But if I cut myself, or if, you know, I fall over, and then I get a scratch and there's blood, that's a wound, not an injury. So what's the difference between a wound and an injury? 10 seconds. 10, 9. Ow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so, oh, those are very good guesses. I think Hannah was the closest. Nice to see you, Hannah. I hope it's the Hannah that I'm thinking of. But when there is a break in the skin, especially if blood is coming out, you're bleeding, that is called a wound, an open wound, yeah? And you have to be very careful because of infection, yeah? If it's a dirty place, if bacteria and germs get into the open wound, then you're going to have another problem on top of that, yeah? But an injury is internal. It's on the inside, a broken bone, maybe a damaged muscle. But if the bone pierces the skin and it comes out, then it becomes, I guess, a wound and an injury, I guess. But that's the main difference. But don't worry too much, yeah? If you say wound instead of injury, people will still understand, okay? All right, let's move on. And the last one, picture number 4. This is 3 letters. 3, 2, 1. A DNA or DNA sample. Very well done. I saw all of you very quickly. DNA. Very nice. If you want to know, does anyone know the long name of DNA? You don't need to know this. Only if you want to show off and show people that you're very smart, like me. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Oh, Logan, he's got it. Well done. Great job. So we have a genius in the chat. Very well done, guys. Okay, you don't need to know that. Okay, let's move on. Now, ooh, interesting. Let's have a look here. What is this showing? You might have seen the title earlier, but what do you see here? What's happening? This is taken from a newspaper article. Yeah. So what is this picture showing? And bonus question, how might this information, how is this kind of information useful to maybe detectives or the police? Can anyone tell me? It's a bit of a long answer, so I'll give you a bit more time. But what is this showing? And why is it useful for detectives? Okay. I'll give you a larger picture. Yeah. So what are these things on the left? And what is this thing on the right? What is it showing? Yeah. So I think some people have already given some great answers. These are gunshot wounds because they're piercing the skin, and the bullets from different types of guns. Yeah. Because of the shape and the strength of the gun, they kind of, they cause different types of wounds. They go in different directions, and they pierce the skin at a very different distance. Yeah. Okay. And very well done, Pitch. These are super useful to know for detectives, because if we can guess the gun from just the wound or the bullet, then we can kind of narrow down, we can understand who the killer might be. Okay, because of course, if one person has this type of gun, but another person has this type of gun, we can tell which one it is based on the bullet or just the wound. Yeah, so super useful stuff there. Now, let's have a look. Gunshot wounds. Whether an urban crime victim or a war casualty, a person with a gunshot wound must be treated quickly and carefully. Okay. Now, question. If somebody has been shot by a gun, what should you do to help them? What is the first, or maybe the first two things that you should do to help? If it's you or someone else, what are the first two things that you should do to help? Okay, bit of a first aid class here, so I'm going to give you some time to write some comments. What are the first two steps in treating a gunshot? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very well done, guys, especially Yasol, who got both. Stop the bleeding and call 911 or whatever number it is in your country. Okay. Now, it doesn't say it here, but number 1, stop the bleeding and stabilize blood pressure. Okay. Some of you talked about using a cloth. Yeah. Maybe, maybe a shirt or something. Tie it around the wound to stop the pressure. Sometimes you just have to push it with your hand to stop the bleeding. Yeah. So, but of course, call the ambulance so that you can buy time for the professionals to come and help. Yeah, and very good point, Gulmia. Don't move too much. You don't want to cause more blood to come out. Yeah, so very well done, guys. Good job. Okay, and then of course, number 2, prevent infection. Number 3, protect nerve tissue. And number 4, remove the destroyed tissues. Yeah, but I think 2, 3, and 4 are more for the professionals, the ambulance, to worry about. Okay? Now, thinking about the body, what are the most dangerous areas to be shot? Okay? So, for example, if you're shot in the shoulder, it's gonna hurt, but it's not life-threatening. It's not fatal. But which areas of the body are very dangerous to be shot in? Yeah? Ooh, very good. Good ideas. Hi, Gia. Nice to see you. Definitely. So great vocabulary here. Chest, brain, the heart. What was it? Whereas any organ, really, some organs are more dangerous than others. But most organs will be a lot of trouble if you're shot. And sorry. Alessandro, very nice word. The arteries, yeah? These are the large blood vessels that carry, what was it? Oxygen, or blood that is red, that carries O2 to other parts of the body. Yeah, carrying blood from the heart. And the reason why arteries are more dangerous than veins, well, actually, can anyone tell me? I'm just looking at time. Maybe we'll go through a bit faster. But arteries have a higher blood pressure because it needs a lot of pressure to send the blood all around the body from your feet to your head. Yeah. Higher blood pressure means if it gets damaged, then the blood is going to shoot out at a lot higher speed, meaning you're going to bleed much more quickly. And then you're gonna be in big trouble, yeah? Because the biggest reason why people die from gunshot wounds is because of blood loss, okay? Alright, good job. So, some great answers, my wonderful students. Danger areas, brain, skull, the neck as well, yeah? If you get lots of blood in your neck, the windpipe where you breathe, then you're going to choke and you can't breathe. Yeah, heart, lungs, of course, intestines, lots of blood there, stomach, liver, and then the leg as well. In the leg, you've got some of the largest arteries because the leg is a big muscle, right? If you go to the gym, you'll notice that your legs can do some of the heaviest exercises. Yeah, it can carry the most weight. So, of course, we need a lot of blood. Okay, nice. Good job. The thigh. Very nice, Logan. Well done. Okay. All right. So, let's move on. Here, let's do a quick game. Here are 9 words. I want you to split them into 3 groups based on the connection. So, for example, let's say you have like, what was it? Apple, banana, orange, yeah? And then you think, ooh, there's a link between these 2 things. They're all fruits, okay? So there are 3 groups, 9 words. They're all mixed up right now, okay? So statue, knife, cyanide. This is not one group. These are all mixed up, okay? So separate these 9 words into 3 groups, and can you tell me the theme or the connection between those 3 groups? Okay, so these 3 things are these 3 things are and these 3 things are I'll give you 30 seconds just to get some ideas and write your answers, okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you CO, because if you can guess, or if you can find the other 2 items, you might be able to deduce or guess the link. Okay. Now, we have a few answers already. Somebody put basketball. What? Basketball? Can you kill someone with a basketball? I think you mean baseball bat. Very good. Thank you, Zia. Nice. Okay. Interesting. No, that's okay, Zia. Don't worry. I know you're typing very quickly. I will say, in the comments, I haven't seen a correct answer yet. Interesting. So all of these answers, at least I haven't noticed any correct answers yet. Dagger, sword, hammer. Group, metal, knife, sword, hammer. CO cyanide statue. Interesting. Lethal weapon. Dagger, sword, knife. Poisonous thing. CO cyanide. A lot of people, you're very close. A lot of people very close. You guys want some hints? So actually, Yasuo has given you a hint. He has got the 3 correct categories. So we have bladed weapons or sharp weapons, blunt objects or blunt weapons, and poisons. Those are the 3 categories. Well done, Yasuo. Good job. Now, can you separate them? Yeah. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Okay. Right. Shall we have a look? So, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Sharp weapons, a sword, a knife, and a dagger. Blunt weapons, a statue, hammer, and a baseball bat. And other, or poison, nuts, CO, and cyanide. Now, can anyone tell me what is CO? I will be so impressed if anyone can tell me what CO is. If you know this, you're a real detective. You are a real Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Oh, Zia, you're so close. Oh, a lot of you are very good. How do you guys know this word? I think, do I know this word in Japanese? Nisankatanso would be carbon dioxide. So, Isankatanso? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, this is not a Japanese lesson. But very well done. You are a science student. Great. Yeah. So, carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. Bonus question. In a home, you know, in your everyday life, where might carbon monoxide come from? What produces carbon monoxide, or where does it come from? I think Z says plants. I think you're talking about carbon dioxide. Yeah, because... Wait, no. Plants don't produce carbon dioxide. They take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. Okay, I don't know what polythene is, but... Ooh, wow, very good. Okay, you guys are giving some very high level science answers here. The answer I was looking for, carbon monoxide often comes from the stove. You know, if you're cooking with not a barbecue, but often if you have a portable stove, you have a gas canister. We use carbon monoxide in cooking as a cooking gas to light the fire. And the dangerous thing about carbon monoxide is, what do you think? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's invisible, and actually, I'm not sure. Does it have a smell? I think gas does have a bit of a smell. That is carbon monoxide. I don't know how easy to notice the smell of gas is, but I think there is a slight smell. But that's why we have a lot of... Do I have one here? Oh, there you go. You see this thing here? I'm trying... Okay, there we go. This thing here... This is a smoke detector. Yeah? And this detects carbon monoxide because it's very easy to just... you know, accidentally leave the stove on, especially with, you know, elderly people who have dementia, young children who play around with the stove. It's a very real danger, carbon monoxide, right? So it can also be used, if you're a murderer, to kill someone. If you're sleeping, you might die in your sleep because, again, it doesn't make a loud sound. It's a very dangerous, invisible gas. Okay, very good. you need a different sensor to detect the gas. Oh, that might be true, yeah. But there you go. Okay. Now, cyanide is a poisonous powder used in many assassinations. Now, what about nuts? How can we use nuts to kill someone? Like almonds, peanuts, cashew nuts, pistachios? What, do we just get lots of nuts and make them choke? Like, we like put it in their throat, or maybe we throw nuts at them? How do we kill people using nuts? It's a bit weird, right? Very well done, Z. You can use nuts to kill somebody who has an allergy. Yeah, because what happens if you eat something when you have an allergy to it? Your throat has an allergic reaction. Well, your body has an allergic reaction, and your throat closes. Yeah, your throat and your windpipe closes, and then you cannot breathe. Yeah, so very dangerous. So gotta be careful. Okay. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but apparently cyanide tastes like almonds. So if you're drinking like water or like fruit juice and you think, why does this taste like almonds? You might have to spit that out, because that's a sign you've been poisoned. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I saw this on a YouTube video, but to be honest, I don't trust information on the internet these days, so please do take it with a grain of salt, okay? Don't trust me 100%. Cyanide has no taste. Oh, maybe it doesn't. I think there's some poison that tastes like almonds. Anyway, I don't know. I'm no poison expert. Or am I? Okay. So, there we go. Right, let's move on to the murder weapon. Okay. Oh, I just realized there's another sound. Okay. I'm going to try and play the sounds on my speaker, because we're going to have a sound quiz, and you are going to listen to the sound and tell me, how did they die? Okay, so please give me a moment. I'm gonna put this here, properties, and then speaker. Okay, so I'm gonna put I'm gonna move this microphone. Sorry, it might be a bit loud. Okay, this is right next to my speaker, and I'm going to play the sound very loud. Okay, so listen to the sound and tell me, how did this person die? Oh, that's definitely, you definitely heard that. Okay, so listen carefully. Okay, I'll play it again. Okay, so what did you hear? Ooh, Girl Mia says throat cutting. Not quite. I'll play it one more time. A knife? Really? Knife? Let's have a look. One more time. Oops. Very good. Some guys. Well done, everybody. We have... So, actually, quick point. Some of you said choking. Now, choke is a confusing word because... Sorry, let me move this here. Here you see the word suffocation. If someone suffocates, it means they die because they can't breathe. Okay? Now, choke... How do I explain this? If you choke on food as an intransitive verb, meaning a natural result, it's not someone doing something to you, you can choke on food, right? So if you like, you're really hungry, you eat too much at the same time, and the food gets stuck in your throat, you go, someone, help, I'm choking. Yeah, you're choking. But you can also choke someone, right? So this would be murder, yeah? If you really don't like your friend, okay, that's enough. I'm gonna kill you. You need to die. I'm sick of you. Yeah? You're choking that person, okay? So the difference between choking and suffocation is dying because you can't breathe, but choking is the action of one, getting food stuck in your throat, yeah, so specifically food, and the action of choking means to grab someone's neck and stop them from breathing, okay? So it's a small difference, but very important in these crime dramas, okay? All right, so let's move on to number 2. Listen carefully. Okay, that was very loud. I'm sorry. I need to... The funny thing is, I'm playing this on the speaker very loud. Keep in mind, these are sounds of people dying. There are people in this apartment, so if I play these sounds too loud, they're gonna think I'm killing someone. The police will come, and I will not be able to teach you guys again. I will be in prison. So I need to be careful. Okay, sorry. Let me just turn on the air conditioning because I'm getting a bit hot. Okay, right. Let's lower the volume a little bit so people don't think I'm killing someone. Okay, let's move this. Right. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so listen again. Okay, you guys have already got it. Very well done. Okay. Okay, that's enough drowning. Please stop. Yeah, and again, similar with choking, drown can be an intransitive verb or a transitive verb. Yeah, meaning somebody can drown by themselves, or you can drown someone like, and you put their head under the water, you drown them. Okay, but people drowning by themselves is a lot more common. You know, at the beach, children, big wave, start drowning. Yeah. But anyway, okay, next one. Okay, that's a very short sound. I'll play it again. Okay, did you guys get it? What do you guys think? What's the sound? Ooh, gunshot. Wait, let me make it a bit louder. So, okay. It's a very short sound. So imagine a quick action. Quick action. Interesting. Okay, so you guys are very close. Now, a lot of you have said cut, right? So when you cut something, you do this, right? Kind of like vertically, right? But usually, when you have a murder, when you really want to kill someone, generally, they don't get a knife and do this, right? Well, you can do that, you know, with the throat and things like that. But imagine if I'm holding the knife like this, yeah? What am I doing here? What do you guys think? Yeah? So, the answer is, well done, guys. You got it. This is... This is stabbing someone, or stabbed. Yeah, this person was stabbed. Okay, so that's the difference. Cut I thought I really cut myself there. Cut, stab, cut, stab. You know, when you, for any of these young viewers, they'll be like, "So, what did you learn in Eric's English class today?" "Oh, I learned how to murder someone." What? Anyway, you are now all expert criminals. Please do not tell anybody about my English class. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Interesting. One more time. Five, four, one. Well done, Zia, you got it exactly right. This person maybe fell down the stairs, or maybe he didn't fall. Maybe he was pushed. Who knows? Yeah. It's very common for the criminals to try and make the murder look like an accident. Right? So, very well done. Throwing, Adam. This person got a whole human adult body and was like, you have to be very strong to throw a body down the stairs. And keep in mind, they're awake, right? So you pick them up like a little boy and you're like, wait, like, no way, Jose, you cannot do that. Unless they're a child or something. But anyway. Okay, very well done. Next one. Oh, that was very short. Okay. I should have made it a bit longer, but... no! I showed the answer. Okay. Well, you guys will see it. It is electricity. Yeah. Sometimes, if you've ever watched, like, American movies, you know, some people might commit suicide, that is killing themselves, by getting something electric and putting it in the bathtub while you are sitting in the bathtub. Yeah, it's a very quick way to kill somebody, and it's also used as a way of capital punishment. Yeah, the electric chair. Depends on the country, but in some countries, in some countries they use the electric chair as a way to execute people, like, right? I wonder how painful it is. I wonder how quickly you die. Anyway, I don't really want to think about that on a Saturday night, but Pig, don't say that. Eric teaches the way how to kill someone. No, don't say that. It's like, I highly recommend Eric's class. He taught us how to kill people in 10 different ways. Oh my gosh. Okay. Right. So, Adam, you're gonna teach us how to be professional murderers. No. If the voltage is super high, then it will be painful and quick. I guess if it's quick, then that's good. Painful, not so much, but anyway. Okay, right, let's move on. So, as you can see here, what is this graph or table showing? Just let you have a look, let you analyze. So, can you guys, just as a quick exercise, please tell me one statement or one sentence about this graph? For example, let's see, in Asia, firearms are the least common way of murder, or homicide. Homicide is another word for murder, okay? So, what can you tell me about this table? Yeah, just any general sentence, just a quick English sentence looking and analyzing this graph. Okay? I'll give you 10 seconds. Quick sentence. In Europe, in Asia, 40% of murders. Yeah. Zia says 15% of murders are done through using firearms. In which area? Because according to the global report, it says 40%. Yeah. Very well done, Zia. Yeah. In Asia, 15% of murders are committed or committed through firearms. Gulmia, the table shows us different murders and what equipment are used. Very good. Well done. Where does the data come from? That's a very good point. I think it's in one of the slides, but I should put the source in. You're very correct. I think this came from a crime report. Was it from an American FBI or something? I will have to check that. Thank you for asking, though. I should remember to put the sources. But it's a chapter of what types of tools have been used to kill people. Okay, not bad, Adam. Well done. All right. So, as you can see, it's pretty crazy, right? In Americas, there's a huge difference compared to the rest of the world. Yes, 67%. That's a huge jump. Whereas in Europe and Asia, things like sharp objects and other, maybe things like poison, are a lot more common. Now, I also find this point quite interesting. Unassigned or unknown. Does that mean in Europe there are a lot more unsolved cases, maybe? Maybe that means the detectives are not so skilled in these countries. I have no idea, but there you go. Okay. And yes, in Asia, maybe there are other ways of killing or reasons and things like that. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Now, gender and crime. Why might there be a difference in gender and crime? There is a difference. There's actually a very big difference. But can you tell me, why might there be a difference in gender and crime? He is a criminal psychologist. I studied psychology, and one of my units was criminal psychology, so actually, it's a tiny part of that is true. Oh, wow. Gulmia says, in India, people use long knives. Wow. I should be a detective. I wish I was smart enough to be a detective. But anyway, back to the question. Why might there be a link between gender and crime? Zia knows I have a degree. Very good. Males more criminal than females. Interesting. Good point, Adam. So maybe that's true, actually. There are more male criminals than female criminals. Yeah. But actually, here is one reason. 2 words. Can anyone tell me what this picture is showing? Females are soft-hearted. I don't know if that's quite a subjective statement. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I think I know what you mean. Violence in the family. So you guys got it. Very well done. Another person, I can't read the Chinese name, but well done. This is domestic violence. Domestic meaning inside the family, or if you're talking about travel, it means inside the country. Yeah. Domestic flight, international flight. Yeah. So one reason for this difference, and actually, if you look at the homicide victims, actually, 81% of victims are also male. It's not just the people who commit these murders that are male, but also the targets and the victims are female. Male. Yeah. Why is that? Well, I want you to imagine you are in this woman's position. Put yourself in the woman's shoes. Yeah. You and your children are being threatened by the male. The man is physically stronger. That's why, the women have to be more careful. So, men, because they have the power, the threat, and the danger, many women will kill those men to protect themselves, to protect their children. Of course, only in extreme cases, but men are killed because they are a threat, a danger, because naturally, biologically, we tend to have more muscle, bigger bodies, and things like that. Yeah. So it's interesting that males are also more commonly victims and criminals. Okay. And if you see here, there's a huge difference, especially in the Americas and Africa. Now, I'm a bit confused because I don't know where all of the other percent is, because this does not add up to 100. But anyway, you can see there is a big difference. 9.3 men are committing murders compared to women. Okay? So, a lot of people, nothing is unfair in business or in love. There are many items that can be indicators. Indian women have guns to protect themselves. Wow, I didn't know about India and guns. I mean, is it easy to get a gun in India? I imagine India is a huge country, huge population. So I wonder how strictly they control. In Japan, guns and drugs as well are very strictly controlled. But how do I say it? If you know the previous Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, he was assassinated using a makeshift gun, like a homemade gun. It was absolutely crazy. So any country can be very dangerous. Especially in those larger cities where there's a lot of people, for example, Tokyo, London, and so on. So please stay safe out there. But anyway, right. So let's have a look at the next thing. The reason for committing a crime. What do we call this? By the way, a lot of you are writing some really interesting comments telling me about your country. I'm gonna have to speed on because I have to get up very early tomorrow, so I apologize I can't read all of the comments. But thank you so much for sharing those really interesting stories. I wish we had more time. So, what do we call the reason for committing a crime? Money might be one type of this thing, but what's the general word for any reason to commit a crime? Okay, that's one word. I'll give you a clue. Begins with M. M. 5, 4. Okay, let's have a look. The answer is Zach was the closest one. This is a motive, yeah? Now, you probably know the word motivation, yeah? The kind of reason or the energy that we have, or the kind of, I can't think of the word. It's the energy or the reason why we do something normally. But a motive, shorter, is the reason for committing a crime, okay? So in detective dramas, crime dramas, you'll often hear, what was the motive. If you think he is the killer, what was his motive? Was he angry at the person? Did he want the money or something like that? Yeah. So, we talked about this earlier, but why might people commit murders? Okay. There are quite a few different reasons, but why might people commit murders? Okay. I'm just going to give you 10 more seconds, just one word each. What are some common motives for murder? Well, actually, it can be any crime, but let's focus on murders. Prevent themselves. What do you mean? Money, big one. Self-defense, that's a good one. Revenge, very nice. Relationship issues, exactly, Alessandra. Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at some others. Often, many things will start as an argument. Yeah, two drunk guys in a bar. I don't like you because you're too handsome. You get into a fight, it gets really serious. And then, because they can't control themselves, and sometimes it's an accident, right? You just push someone, they hit their head on the corner of a table, they're gone, right? So this can be an example of accidental murder, or what we call manslaughter, which means it was not planned. Yeah. The punishment for manslaughter is a lot less, well, not a lot less, it's less serious than murder, which is planned. Okay. Jealousy and cheating is another common one. Yeah. Again, I think cheating is terrible. It's not a reason for murder, but, you know, with many other problems, you know, many years taking care of the children, a lot of stress might cause some people to, you know, stab another. Domestic abuse, somebody mentioned self-defense, yeah, to protect your family. Or maybe in America, if somebody enters your home with a gun, you know, many of those people have a gun at home to protect their family. If somebody enters your home, you don't know if they have a gun. You gotta act fast. It's a very scary situation. Revenge, maybe they killed one of your family, or maybe they did something very bad to you or your family, and you want revenge. Another one might be a witness. Yeah, a witness is a person who saw something happen, usually a crime. Okay, so if you're a killer and you realize, oh, that person saw me on the day of the crime, he's gonna tell the police. I need to silence him. I need to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, he's gone. He cannot tell the police now. Yeah. And then another reason might be life insurance. This is not a common reason. Well, murder itself is not that common. But in detective stories, you might hear, oh, the old guy is very rich, and he has a really nice life insurance policy. If he dies, the family will get lots of money, or something like that. Now, this is very different to, this is very different to the document. Do you guys know, what do we call this piece of paper that tells everybody who you will give your things to, like your house, your money, your books, and all of those things? For example, I will give my house to my wife. I will give these books to my friend who loves books. What is this document that tells everybody who you're giving these things to? Sasuga. Margot, thank you very much. Well done. Margot, this is, what was it? Everyone, a will is a document that tells you who you're gonna give things to when you die. Yeah. So life insurance is a bit different. Okay. Nice. Good job. Will, Gulmia, Zia, thank you very much. Okay. let's have a look at a few crime-related jobs. Let me just quickly check. How far are we? How many more slides do we have to do? Oh, there's quite a lot. I have to go through this quickly. Oh my gosh. Okay, right, we're gonna speed up. I apologize. So, let's put this back here. So, what kind of crime-related jobs can you think of? Yeah. It doesn't have to be the title, but you could say like in action. Like what kind of special jobs, what do they do to help with the investigation? Alessandra, you're not wrong. A sniper is crime-related. I'm more thinking about on the police side of things. But you're not wrong. Very good. A hacker, interesting. Maybe to get into, you know, a security system to get some evidence. That's a good one. Detective, very good. Policeman, very nice. Detective, forensics. Someone said boxing. Is that crime related? Okay, very well done. Great job. So, let's have a look at some others. What's this? Now, I know the quality is not great. I've zoomed in very close. Sorry. Okay. Forensics, very good, Zia. These are the people who analyze the evidence. Yeah, the DNA, the blood samples, and all of that stuff. Very good. Well done. Forensics is a great word. Okay. What about this one? What's happening here? Three, two, one. Yeah. People at the crime scene, maybe collecting the evidence. There are actually a lot of different jobs when it comes to this situation. You know, you have the people who actually collect the evidence. There are people who block off the crime scene. You know, they put that yellow tape saying keep out. Yeah. There are people who, you know, direct the traffic. There's a lot of like jobs that we take for granted and don't think about. Yeah. There are people who kind of calm down the people who pass by or like take care of the victim and any people who were at the scene of the crime. Yeah, because, you know, if you see a crime happen, you're going to panic, you're going to be in shock. So there are a lot of different jobs at the crime scene. What about this one? There's a good word here if you can understand the situation. I'll give you a clue. There are two people here in a room. Two people. Ah, good idea. It's not a dead person. It's not a dead person. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Now, that was a very good guess. Yeah, this is actually an interrogation. Yeah. Asking questions to get a testimony. Yeah. So when you have a suspect or anybody you want to get information from, the policeman might talk to the suspect and say, tell me what you do. Where were you? You did it, didn't you? Just fess up. Confess. Tell me right now so I can go home and have dinner. You did it! And they're like, you know, they try and interrogate you and get that information. Okay? Often in dramas, they say there's a good cop, bad cop. Yeah. Bad cop is the really aggressive type. Good cop is the like, the soft type. Where it's like, hey, how you doing? You must be tired. Would you like a drink? Oh, I've got some coffee. Yeah, here, let me pour it for you. It's like two different approaches to getting somebody to give you more information, right? Good cop, bad cop. Which one are you? I think I'm not good at being very aggressive, so I think I would be the good cop. But even then, I think I would be very bad, a very bad police officer. I'm just. I was going to say I'm too kind, but that sounds wrong. Like, I don't like calling myself kind. Like, ugh. Anyway, so there you go. See ya. Inspired by Detective. Why, thank you very much. So let's have a quick look at testimony. What is a testimony? Well, a testimony is a spoken or written statement about what happened. Okay, testimony is very important type of evidence because, of course, if you have a witness who saw the crime, then what they saw will be super important evidence. Yeah, it can help us kind of find the killer. But the problem is that testimony is not always reliable, right? Especially if you have someone under shock. When I studied forensic psychology in university, people's memories are not very reliable. And often we create false memories, especially when it comes to trauma, comes to very old, like kind of childhood memories. It can even be for other reasons, like for example, what was it? We will even change memories to kind of match our opinion or support our opinion so that people believe us, right? We might change a part of a story to make our story seem more true just to kind of persuade people. So our memory is definitely not very reliable. So gotta be careful with testimony. But there's also the crime of perjury. Yeah. In court, if you ever go to a courtroom and have to give or share your testimony, you must first take an oath or, promise. Yeah, you say, I promise that I will not lie in this court. Yeah. And later, if they find out that you were lying, then it's a very big crime and you may go to prison. Okay. So, testimony and perjury. But I think testimony is a more common word, so remember this, okay? Now, the next word. You guys already talked about this earlier. We have a very pale looking person here and a blue thing in the background. This is indeed an autopsy, yeah. This is examining a dead body to find the cause of death, yeah. Thinking about those bullet wounds earlier, yeah, looking at the shape of the wound, maybe the knife, the bullets, yeah, and that can give us more information about the killer and how they died, yeah. And here you might see this kind of autopsy report. I don't know how up to date this is, but it seems quite old. But here you can see there's a place to maybe make some marks. Yeah. Oh, the bullet wound was here in going through the heart. There was a scratch on the back of the head and all of this other information that might be useful for the investigation. Okay. So there you go. Okay. Right. So let's move on. Sorry, wrong button. So here we have some parts of a crime investigation and the different types of jobs which might be important to help you find that killer. Okay. And just for your information, here are the salaries for these types of jobs. Yeah, at the lower side, we have the crime scene investigator, maybe the people collecting the evidence. Then we have the photographer. Yeah, a PI, private investigator, science technician, police officer. Interesting. Forensic analyst, detective, judge, and lawyer. Interesting. I'm quite surprised by the judge and lawyer. I thought the judge would be a more important or well-paid job than the lawyer, but I guess the lawyer does have to do most of the work in the case, right? They have to kind of get all of the evidence, contact lots of people, and kind of persuade everybody that their client is guilty or innocent, right? So I guess that makes sense, right? But interesting. Anyway, yeah, so I guess the lawyer does most of the work. Okay, but of course, all of these people are super helpful in the investigation. Let's have a look at some key people. We've already talked a lot about the different people in a crime, yeah, victim, criminal, and things like that. But let's just test and see if you can match these words to the definitions, okay? Suspect, witness, accomplice, criminal, bystander, victim. Okay, so these words are not matched with the correct definition. You must connect these words together. Okay, so for example, let's do an easy peasy one together. So let's do criminal. This is a person who committed the crime. Okay, now just in your head, you don't have to type the answer, just make a quick note. Oh, I think this one's this, and so on. Or you can write on a piece of paper. That's okay too. All right. For those of you, my best students right now, you're writing some notes in your English vocabulary book. Yeah. I'll give you 30 seconds just to quickly read and match the words. Okay? Uh-oh, I'm getting tired. Okay. 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Shall we have a look? Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's read them together. Suspect, someone who is believed to have committed a crime. Okay, so we have a list of suspects, usually 2, 3, or 4, and one of them is usually the criminal if we have the right group. Yeah, but these are people who we think might have committed the crime. Witness, a person who saw a crime happen. We talked about this earlier. Sometimes witnesses become the target of another murder, yeah, to silence them, to stop them from giving testimony in court. Yeah. An accomplice is someone who helped the criminal. If you know the word accompany means to kind of be with someone and go with someone to a certain place. Yeah. Accompany, together. Accomplice, together committing the crime. Criminal, easy peasy, a person who commits a crime. A bystander, someone who was close to the crime but not directly involved. Yeah. Imagine somebody goes to rob a store with a gun. Yeah, they shoot the shopkeeper, but they also push another person out the way to escape. Yeah, that person who was not killed but was also there and affected. Yeah, they can be a bystander and also a witness at the same time. Okay. But bystander doesn't always mean they saw the crime. It just means they were nearby when the crime happened. And then we have the victim, the target of the crime. Okay? All right. Right, let's move on. Other useful phrases. Okay. Now, I saw what you are. Yeah, and we have some censored pictures. I actually don't know what these pictures are. Maybe it's two adults having fun. Maybe it's just a random picture. But quick question. What do we call it when someone uses information to control someone? Yeah. So imagine, sometimes you get a random email saying, "Oh, I have some embarrassing photos of you, so please, send me $1,000 before next week." Yeah. What is this person doing to you? Oh, you guys are very good. Abdeslam, very close. Very good. Well done. Zia and Meal, very well done. We have blackmail. Okay. When you use information to control someone. And sometimes people will kill another person because they're being blackmailed, right? Because their secret is really bad. Yeah. Blackmail can even cause another murder. Okay. Let's have a look at this map. For example, let's say the crime scene is next to the lake on the left here. Where were you when the crime happened? Let's imagine you are one of these suspects and the police say, where were you when the crime happened? Yeah. Can you tell me what you were doing at this time when this person was killed? And you might say, yeah, no problem. I went to the spa and the salon, and I did some laundry, and I did a bit of shopping. Yeah. So, I gave the answer. I thought there was another animation, but anyway. So, when we think about the timeline of events, yeah, often, if you can show that you were somewhere else or busy when the crime happened, of course, you cannot be the criminal. You can prove that you are innocent. This is called having an alibi. An alibi is proof that you or the suspect was somewhere else when the crime happened. Okay? So when a lawyer is trying to protect their client and say, no, they are innocent, they didn't do it, one of the first things they will try to do is prove or find evidence of an alibi. Yeah. So they might look at the security cameras. They might talk to other people. Yeah. Or they might get some paper evidence, like maybe they went to see a movie and they have the ticket that shows the time and the date. Yeah, all of these things help to build an alibi. That is proof that they were not at the scene of the crime when it happened. Okay? All right. So let's move on. Oh, we talked about this earlier, but there is a big difference between manslaughter and murder. Yeah. Manslaughter is an accident, and murder is a decision. Okay? Sorry, I thought I deleted this. It's very strange. Oh, is this an old version of the slide? Anyway, it's not super important. Okay. Now, looking here, let's have a quick look at some idioms. This is one very useful idiom. Under the table. Okay? If you do something under the table, it means that you're doing something secretly and often illegally. Yeah. If you imagine these rich politicians, yeah, There's a lot of corruption in the political world in any country. Yeah. Hey, psst, I'll give you some money if you vote for me in the next election. Yeah. I'll buy you a Big Mac at McDonald's if you support me and tell everybody I'm a good teacher. Yeah. This is doing things under the table. Okay. And for example, the politicians are taking bribes under the table. Okay. So bribe is an example of what I said earlier. A bribe is, how do I say it? Paying money to get some sort of support, usually in politics. Yeah. Or it could be a rich politician paying another rich person, maybe a big company, to try and, I don't know, advertise, support, or just give them some sort of unfair support, right? So this is a bribe. Yeah. Another situation might be, let's say you're driving on the motorway, you go over the speed limit, and the police officer stops you and says, look, you are speeding very fast, and I'm going to need to take you to prison. This is not okay. Or, you know, they give you a fine, and then instead you say, hey, psst, let's make a deal. I'll give you this money, you know, put this in your pocket. Don't worry, I won't tell the other people. If you let me go, I'll put this money in your pocket. Yeah, it's a secret. And they might say, it's a very nice deal. This is a bribe. Okay. If you want to get a good deal, you might have to give him some money under the table. Okay. These are all doing things secretly. All right. Now, let's have a look at the next one. Ooh. Red herring. Now, this is a very common phrase in the detective and crime world. If you really like Sherlock Holmes or just talking about detective stories, a red herring is a nice phrase to use. A red herring, something that distracts you from something more important. Yeah. So in crime stories, they will often show you, you know, the crime scene. They will give you lots of clues. And one of the fun things about crime stories or detective stories is you as the reader or the watcher, you're also trying to figure out the crime at the same time as the detective. And you think, okay, so this here, he was there, and then there was this evidence. But a lot of the time, good writers and good, directors, they will put a red herring in the story to try and hide the truth or distract you from the real answer. Okay? Now, where does this phrase come from? Well, as you might have noticed, a red herring, or a herring, is a type of fish. And you see this guide dog, you know, dogs very good at picking up smells. Yeah? But we have the fox here, yeah, trying to escape the dog. So maybe the fox used the fish to distract the dog. Okay. To give you a bit more background, an example, maybe in Sherlock Holmes, maybe the killer writes a fake message on the wall, Roach, or something like that. Maybe that's the name of, you know, a famous person, or maybe the killer wants to push the attention away from themselves. So they write in fake blood, Roach, yeah, to distract the detectives. So this might be an example of a red herring, okay, to get them to look in the wrong place. Now, interestingly, herrings are not actually red. I don't know what color they are normally. I'm not a fish expert, but herrings are usually a different color, maybe white, I think. But similar to salmon, is it similar to salmon? Often herring is smoked, or it's prepared. Ow! Sorry, I have an ulcer. It's prepared in a way, it's like smoked or fermented to make it a lot more rich, to give it a deeper flavor. Yeah. So, what was it? It becomes red as a result of this process, this smoking or fermentation process, yeah, to give it that really nice deep flavor. And so the story is that red herrings, a famous writer, this person here, William Cobbett, wrote a story. He used the phrase red herring in his story to show that, you know, as an example, dogs would follow the red herring to kind of... Sorry, that's not the word. According to William Cobbett, red herring was used to train hunting dogs. Okay, so they used red herrings as a very strong smell to help train the dogs so they can focus on the target. And this was a story made popular by William Cobbett. But the interesting thing was, this story itself was actually fake. The story was a red herring. The real reason, according to my internet research, again, I don't know how true this is, but apparently the red herrings were actually used to train the horses that hunt with the dogs, yeah? As you may know, horses can be scared quite easily, yeah? So if something happens and the person is riding on the horse, it's very easy for them to fall off the horse, and that could cause an injury, yeah? So apparently red herrings were used to train the horses, not the dogs. So the story itself was fake. It was a red herring. Okay? All right. There we go. So let's have a quick review of the vocabulary today. Here we have 6 words: bystander, witness, suspects, accomplice, criminal, and testimony. I'm going to give you maybe 2 minutes to read through this by yourselves, and you're going to try and put the words into the gaps. Okay? So I'm going to take this time to quickly pop to the loo, go to the toilet. So please have a think, read this, maybe say it out loud, try pronouncing these words, practice a bit of pronunciation. And in about 2 minutes, we will look at the answers. Okay? I will be right back. Okay, how are we all doing? Is everyone okay? Yeah? So, are we all ready to look at the answers? I'll just give you 30 more seconds. 30 seconds. Okay. Right. Shall we have a look? Okay. Let's read this together. So, 3, 2. Oh. Wait, please tell me. Oh, I'm stupid. I made a mistake. I forgot to add this slide. Okay. So, I was supposed to put the answers on screen, but we'll just read through it together. Okay? So, investigating... Is it big enough? Okay. Investigating a crime is rarely as simple as it looks on TV. Detectives often face many challenges when trying to find... We have suspects. Oops. And gather enough evidence to find out which one is the criminal. One major difficulty is determining who can be trusted. Sometimes a witness may have seen the crime, but their memory can be unclear or affected by shock. Without reliable testimony, it's hard to make an accurate timeline of events and prove who the criminal is. Another problem is the possibility of an accomplice, someone who helped main criminals secretly. These people often play an important role in planning or covering up the crime, making the investigation more complicated. In some cases, an innocent-looking bystander may actually be an accomplice, while the real criminal stays hidden. Investigators must carefully analyze all of the evidence to separate fact from assumption. Solving a crime takes time, skill, and patience, and even then, justice isn't always guaranteed. Okay, so how did you guys do? Did you get it right? Yeah? So all of these words, super useful to talk about crime, and there we go. Okay, so I think we're almost finished. Let's see, what's next? Oh, from the crime scene to the courtroom. Here, yes. So here was just some extra information about what happens. It's very long, so I will not show you now, but later I will upload the presentation so that you can use this to review your English notes. You will be able to find it maybe on my YouTube or your Moments. Okay? So, a bit more extra reading, a bit of extra homework here. All right. Well done, guys. Good job with the gap fill. I think a lot of you have been studying very well and listening very carefully. So, great job. Okay. Congrats. Okay. So, I think we're almost done. What's next? Let's have a look. Yes. There's a really good chapter in the National Geographic Reading Explorer that talks about Napoleon's mysterious death. Yeah, Napoleon, the famous French commander. He actually died in a very mysterious way. I won't tell you all of the story, but some people think he was murdered. Some people think he was poisoned. You know, even like the wallpaper, there was a secret in the wallpaper. And oops, sorry, I went back. But yeah, it's a very interesting story. Maybe you can Google it. But there we go. Okay, right. And then I think anything else? No, I think that's almost it. So the final surprise I have to show you is that I've actually created a murder mystery myself, where you'll have to look at a lot of information. I'm going to share an actual as you know, I make YouTube videos, so actually here is a sneak peek. We will not do it today because I need to have dinner and go to bed. But next week, we will have a look at this murder mystery, okay? But here is the introduction video that I made myself. So let me just quickly get my speakers ready and then put this over here. Let's put on speakers. And then one more thing, sorry, please wait a moment. Desktop audio. Okay, right, so let's see if I can get this playing. Sorry.
It's a chilly evening.
Oh, there you go. Can you hear it? Is it okay? Let me just play it a bit more.
And the wind
Uh-oh, it stopped, sorry.
is blowing softly. I enjoy evening walks. It's peaceful.
Okay, can you guys hear that? Perfect, thank you very much, Zia. Okay, so this is the kind of opening, the introduction to the murder mystery. It's just something I did for fun, just to set the scene, to get you into the world of this mystery, okay? So,
Quiet and there's no one else. Wait. Is that a good thing? Like if something happens to me, I can't call for. Okay. Don't overthink things. Just relax and wow. The moon is gorgeous tonight. You know, it's so nice to just forget about work and get away from busy city life. Sometimes you just need to have a breath of fresh air, a change of pace.
oh, sorry.
Nice, relaxing. What was that? Okay, please be okay. Please be okay. Wait, but why am I going? Wait, but why am I going to a dangerous place by myself? Like, I don't go to the gym. I have a bad back. I can't fight. Oh, I should have taken those taekwondo classes at school. Huh? No. Wake up. Please tell me you're just having a nice nap. You're fine, don't worry. Blood? Oh, God.
Hello, this is 911.
There's someone dead. Dying? I'm not sure. Green Park, ambulance, please.